If you are currently not living the life of your dreams, you're gonna want to stick around for this video. First off, I just want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here on my channel, and your support means the absolute world to me. I'm really excited to get to know each and every single one of you in this community that we are creating together. So I have tried to film this video, and I keep losing my voice. So if I lose my voice in this, I'm terribly sorry. I'm doing my best. I have my water bottle here trying to help me out, and it feels like my camera dies. There's background noise like crazy. I lose my train of thought. Earlier I felt like I had smoke in my brain, and I know that when things like that happen, the message is really important. I'm gonna do my best. I pray to God this is the last time I try. We're gonna get it out. Bear with me. My channel is primarily about fear, and I wanted to start it off that way because from personal experience, as well as what I can observe from the general public, fear is really stopping us from creating the lives that we desire. And I don't know about you, but I really want that life that I desire, and any little information that I can learn and understand and apply to make my life better, you better believe I'm going to do that. So I pray you find some wisdom and some applicable tools in this video in order for us to change our lives together. I really want people to understand everything that you see in your external reality is created by you. You are the creator. So we are made in the image of God. We have God inside of us, and God wants to create, and He is creating through us. So we have creator energy. Everything that you are thinking, believing, and feeling and doing is creating what you see in front of you. And it is a really, really good compass for you to understand what vibrational frequency that you are emitting. I'm going to pull up this chart here. This is a chart by Abraham Hicks, who teaches the law of attraction. It's very informative, and I promise you, even if it's not something that you believe in, reprogramming your subconscious mind is a very powerful tool. So I highly recommend that you check that out if you've not heard of it or you've not looked into it. So in this chart, as you can see, fear is at the very bottom. Fear emits such a low vibrational frequency. And before we completely demonize fear, I just want to say that it is a necessary feature of our evolution. We need to have fight or flight in our bodies in order to survive. But there comes a point when all you're doing is surviving. You're living out of that survival state, and we don't want to stay there. If we feel it on occasion in order to stay alive, that's obviously very important, but it gets to a point where you're just living in it. You've laid down, and here we are in fear forevermore, and we don't want to do that. So I want us as a collective to switch from being in survival to thriving. So here we go. When you are vibrating at such a low frequency, it is literally impossible to pull anything towards you that is of a different frequency. If you are wanting to pull in $1 million towards you, but you're operating out of the frequency of fear, that's not going to happen, because $1 million in your body, you can feel how $1 million would feel to you. It doesn't feel scary. It feels joyous, it feels abundant, it feels like gratitude, it feels like bliss, it feels like ease, you know? So if you're wanting to create something that is at number one, but you're down here, you're complete light years away from what you want to create, and there is that massive gap between you and what you want to create. I know for myself, I see the life that I want to create and the life that I'm currently living in, and there is that big gap. So how do we close that gap? Well, let's talk about it. How does fear stop us from manifesting? Number one, fear creates resistance. Like I said, if you are trying to call in one thing but operating out of an opposite frequency, that's really hard to magnetize, because as you're sitting in fear, the only thing that you're emitting is fear. So the only frequency that matches you is fear. So all of the people, the situations, the thoughts are all going to be fearful that are surrounding you, and you can't reach outside of that and grab something until you elevate above what you're in. When you're putting out the prayer, I want $1 million, but you're in the opposite energy that you need to be in, it's a little bit confusing. What do you want? When you're focused on the lack and you're trying to call in abundance, mixed signals. What are you trying to do? What do you want? Your energy is saying one thing and your desire is saying something different. So they need to match, they need to align in order for you to have what you are trying to call in. Number 2 is fear amplifies negative thoughts. And this is because like attracts like. What you are vibrating on, what you are operating off of, is what you are going to see, what experiences you are going to have. This is because where attention goes, energy flows. So your attention is not on how it would feel to have $1 million. Your attention is on the lack of having that $1 million. And the only thing that the universe, that God is going to continuously give you is what you're vibrating on. So if you're vibrating in lack and fear and all of those lower vibrational frequencies, that's what you're going to get more of. You say, I don't have enough money. Okay, here's another experience where you don't have enough money. I can't buy any groceries. Okay, well, here, you can't buy this either. Your car breaks down, and all of these things start to happen to you because of what you are focused on. Where your attention goes, energy flows. Let that sink in. Let it take root. We need to know this. So now that we are discussing this, you can pull your conscious awareness into the times where your mind is going in those loops and you're catching your thoughts and saying, okay, hold up. I am thinking about lack way more often than I'm thinking of abundance. No wonder I'm in the position I'm in. So taking very radical self-accountability and being very self-aware is really going to help you. Number 3 is fear blocks your intuition and your clarity. When you have an inner knowing and an inner standing that you need to be doing something, oftentimes it's something that does not make any flippin' sense. It's going to be something that requires deep faith. And our intuitions are that gut knowing as well as what we can see in our mind's eye. So we have that clear vision as well as the feeling of where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to do, and we trust. But when you start slipping into fear, you no longer trust. You are questioning, you're doubting, you're scared, you're confused, and that is going to make it really hard for you to get on the path that you want to be on and that you need to be on for that manifestation, for that life that you desire. Number 4 is fear disrupts alignment. So your intuition is what leads you to alignment. And I know that it would be like, it sounds like a blessing if we were just to think of a manifestation and boom, it pops into reality, but we would get bored really fast, which Abraham Hicks talks about as well. So our journey on the way to that manifestation is life. And who you become on that journey is who you need to be for that manifestation. The only way that you can get to that is with alignment. So when fear comes in, it's going to drop you down into that low vibrational frequency and boom, that path is gone. You've missed it, you've lost it, you were supposed to turn left, you can't make a U-turn, you're on a whole different road that you were never meant to be on, now you're lost and you're confused, where is my manifestation? Well, it was left way back there, so now you have to figure it out. And obviously, no matter what wrong turn that we make, no matter what wrong path that we get ourselves on, there is always course correction, but you need to trust yourself, you need that intuition to move forward. And that fear or that low vibrational frequency that you keep slipping back into is the reason why you are not taking those aligned steps. Number 5, fear creates inaction. You're not taking any action, let alone aligned action. Fear makes us procrastinate. It makes us feel stuck. It makes us feel paralyzed. It makes us indecisive. We're confused. We don't know what we want. We feel lost. We don't know how we got here. We're so far away from where we want to be, where we need to be. And it feels dark, and it feels sad, and it feels scary and bad. And that's because fear just like hits you off the path that you need to be on, and now you're way over there. So that being said, how do we go from a place of being in fear to going to a place of creating? Number one, very important. These are all very important, but you need to feel the fear. Just because it's coming up doesn't mean that you can't move through it. And that is so much about what my channel is about. Feeling that fear and doing it anyways. Do it scared. It doesn't matter. That feeling is not forever. You're gonna overcome it, but you need to feel it. You can't put a band-aid on it. You can't push it aside. You need to feel it and move through it. Number two is practice gratitude. You literally can't be in a lower vibrational frequency while practicing gratitude. You can't do it. If you are constantly talking about, I don't have any money, I live paycheck to paycheck, I calculate my groceries on my phone just to make sure I have enough money, and you're sitting in that and you're constantly ruminating and all of those thoughts, if you switch your focus into gratitude of, wow, I'm so grateful that I had one meal today because yesterday I didn't have any, and you switch your focus to, I live paycheck to paycheck, but I'm very thankful that all of my bills are paid at the end. And you start moving your focus from the lack into the abundance through gratitude. Number three is visualization. You are going to want to really understand and visualize in your mind's eye what the manifestation that you're trying to call in looks like. If you want to call in $1 million, what about that $1 million is going to benefit your life? Many different ways this could go, but it's going to be unique to you. You might want to live on a yacht. I want $1 million to not live on a yacht. I don't want to do that. So you need to get very crystal clear on what you want and how it's going to make you feel in your body. This is really important, that feeling. You can think all day, but unless you cultivate and create that feeling within your body, you cannot call in that experience. Your brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality because you're feeling it as if it's happening in this moment, and you're seeing it as well. When you close your eyes, you can see that moment so well that your brain thinks that it's happening. So the more often that you can pull your conscious awareness into creating that feeling, the closer you're going to be to achieving what you're trying to achieve. Number four is affirmations, specifically affirming your worthiness. If you do not believe that you are worthy of what you're trying to call in, it's never coming. I'm just going to be blunt. It's never coming, because you can say that you want it all dang day. You can see it and try and feel it, but if you feel like you don't actually deserve it, it can't come to you. You have to know and feel in your body. And just like the Bible says, if you pray, believe, and you will receive. So know that when you're asking for these things, you are worthy of having them. God would not have placed that desire on your heart if it was not for a reason, if it wasn't something that you could actually achieve. Number five is take aligned action. Do not let that fear paralyze you. You need to be taking even micro steps towards the goal that you're trying to achieve. And you're gonna know what those steps are when you tune into your intuition, when you meditate and you close your eyes and you pray and you speak to God. God will always guide you where you need to go, but you need to quiet your human mind in order to see the steps, in order to feel the steps, and in order to take those steps with confidence. And yes, there are going to be times where you're gonna have to do it flipping scared. You're gonna have to, but the more that you take the micro steps, the baby steps, the leaps, the bounds, whatever it may be for you, the more you're going to trust yourself that you can continuously do it, that you overcame that fear, that you did it anyways, and here you are living in at least one of your manifestations, pulling in another one because of those actionable steps that you're taking. Number six, probably the most important, you need to trust. Ask, believe, receive. So again, the Bible does not specifically talk about the word manifestation, but if you ask God, believe that you will receive it, and you will. And this is something that is so important, because without having faith, and you can have faith the size of a teeny tiny little mustard seed, and with that, massive things can happen. You can move a mountain. So having that belief, having that faith that what you want is on its way, and no matter when it is, no matter how it happens, it is coming. That's unstoppable. You can do anything when you have faith. All of these things are really going to help you start magnetizing in what you want. And the more often that you are catching yourself in those lower frequency vibrations, and you are taking accountability for what you are operating in, the easier it's going to be to switch. Like I said, the biggest compass for where you're currently sitting is what is going on inside of your life. And the more that you can practice raising that frequency, bumping up that vibration, the more opportunities are going to come, the more people, the more experiences, and all of those high vibrational frequencies. And the more that you can pull that conscious awareness in, the easier that it's going to be for you to maintain those in order to call in even more. And if you get to the point where you call in that $1 million, imagine how freaking high your vibration is going to be when you get that $1 million. Because I know for myself, I would be unstoppable. I would be living way up here all of the time, because that is such a dream come true to have that abundance. So we're going to learn to close that gap between us, where we're vibrating at, and the thing that we want to call in. So closing that gap by raising our frequency, maintaining that frequency, practicing gratitude, and constantly trying to be aware of where we are. I hope you found some of this information really helpful for you. If you did, please share it with somebody else who could use the information in here to help better their lives, because what one person knows needs to be shared with another person so that we can all elevate together, because it's time. We don't need to be living in a world that is constant doom and gloom with chaos and tragedy and trauma always happening. It's time to rise above. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.